Go ahead and begin. Good afternoon and welcome to our annual CFO and HR Professionals of the Year Awards. My name is Charles Crumpley. I'm the editor and publisher of the San Fernando Valley Business Journal. And it's my pleasure to be here today as we celebrate the excellence of this region's finest chief financial officers and human resource professionals. First, I'd like to take just a moment to thank our partners for their generosity and involvement in putting this event together. So thank you to our presenting sponsors, the David Nazarian College of Business and Economics at the California State University, Northridge, and Montage Insurance Solutions. Today, we're here to honor the achievements of financial executives and HR professionals who have been nominated for their outstanding work. And I want to name this year's finalists so we can recognize each one. And they are, and I apologize in advance for any mispronunciations, they are Mark Barron of ESI Enterprises, Steve Binder of Mankind, Eric Chen of Meisner Filtration Products, Andy Cole of Agora Realty and Management, Lilith Davtian of Finexa, Kevin Elms of Dole Packaged Foods, Paul Erickson of Contemporary Services Corporation, Adrian Gila of Lux RV, Howard Kaminsky of Vallarta Supermarkets, Ellen Leto of Platinum Energy, Victor Layson of Leaf Labs, Bill Lincoln of ATK Audio Tech, Michael Marchetti of Age of Learning, Laura Azzolini Rigali of Illuminate, Barty Sitar of Barnstorm VFX, Janelle Strohmeyer of Montage Insurance Solutions, and Lane Thrasher of Prager University Foundation. So congratulations to each one of you. We read all the nomination forms, and it's clear that you all are among the most talented and most successful and hardest working professionals in the Valley area. And I'm really in awe of your great work, and we are truly honored to be able to recognize you. As you know, more and more of our financial stewards and our human resource professionals are called upon today to meet current challenges. And I'm not just referring to the pandemic, which, as we all know, has added a layer of extra trouble on all of us, but these people also must navigate more and more rules and regulations. Our organizations depend more than ever on the astute work of these important executives. Now, in a few moments, we'll identify 6 of these amazing people to get an honor. But first, let's take just a few minutes to discuss a few of the issues a few issues of the day regarding CFOs and HR professionals. So to do that, I'd like to introduce Danon Simpson. She's the founder and chief executive of Montage Insurance Solutions in Woodland Hills, and Chandra Subramaniam, the dean of the business school at CSUN. So welcome to you both, and thank you again for being our presenting sponsors. So Chandra, let's start with you. The pandemic, of course, has caused problems for all kinds of organizations, and most all of us for that matter. What are some of the big challenges that the pandemic has caused for CFOs?
Thanks, Charlie, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this panel to this great group of CFOs and HR leaders. In some sense, actually, by the way, it is odd for me to be here when we have such strong leaders in finance and HR who are suffering through the effects of the pandemic in real time and can probably provide better examples of the real impact on companies due to the pandemic. The pandemic has actually affected all businesses. Some businesses have been able to ride it better than others. Examples of a few challenges that companies and CFOs are facing. First among them is, of course, cash, or exactly lack of it. Many businesses never had a significant cash reserve and now are struggling for cash flow to continue, resulting in an uncertain future or closures, especially in service businesses like cafes, restaurants, and retail. I'm sure many CFOs here today are trying to solve the immediate crisis of liquidity and resulting financial stress by optimizing cash reserves as the duration of the crisis still remains unclear. Related to this, of course, is CFO's ability to access capital to stay afloat, since firms still have to pay their fixed costs, rents, debt obligations, and other worker salaries, to name a few, while the revenues are being severely impacted. While the Paycheck Protection Plan benefited some firms, most firms did not see much of that fund. The issue to most CFOs I talked to is a changing environment in which we all operate. Many firms had to pivot from being primarily a walk-in customer-oriented firm to primarily online. As you know, restaurants moved to online orders and pickup. Health clinics became users of telemedicine. We are seeing many businesses that never had an online presence get online for the first time. Next, companies have most of their workers working remotely. CFOs and their companies have to understand how it's affecting the work-life balance of their employees. When every member of the family is working from home, including school-age children, it creates a very stressful situation. The other issue is access and bandwidth within the household. Even if we provide all the tools necessary, there's a significant loss in engagement and connectivity. The loss of work-life balance is definitely impacting the employee's mental health through stress, anxiety, loneliness, and a feeling of isolation. CFOs and their companies have to prepare for these issues among their employees. On a positive note, however, with all the challenges, CFOs tend to be innovative, optimistic, and resilient people. We need to be optimistic about the future. CFOs can make the adjustments necessary for the company to reach, consolidate their resources, and find ways to access capital and be in a better place coming out of this crisis than when they got in. Thanks, Charles.
Okay, well, thank you, Senator. By the way, you're cutting out just a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, you're cutting out just a little bit. I don't know if that's a problem on our end or what, but anyway, next question. So that's a good overview of the pandemic. Let's talk about, or let's project ourselves, let's say a year or so from now, after the pandemic. What do you think will change for CFOs? In other words, what might they do differently post-pandemic?
That's a great question. Interestingly enough, in my discussion with several CFOs, many of the changes we have had to make due to the pandemic, we expect to remain with us for a long time after the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you some examples. Most companies thought we had to have multiple locations and brick-and-mortar buildings in multiple places in order to do business. However, in my conversations, they find that much of the activities that need to be done can be done remotely and successfully through technology, whether through Zoom meetings as we are doing today, MS Teams or some other technology, with greatly reduced travel and relocation for the employees. Many firms have also become accustomed to online recruiting, onboarding, and employees working remotely. While the loss of the ability to develop firm culture if taken too far, I think some of these virtual activities are here to stay. Another aspect of working remotely has been greater proliferation of technology use. While technology was already making its way into most of the things we do, the speed of its implementation has increased, and in my view, I expect it to continue. A crisis always requires CFOs and HR managers to look at innovation. And these managers should be able to help the organization set up a system that balances and optimizes profitability while creating the type of performance targets that are good for promoting innovation.
Okay, great. Well, let's bring Danon into the conversation and into this discussion. So, same questions for you, Danon. What big challenges has the pandemic caused for human resource professionals?
Well, I could go on forever. However, the top of mind are, it's really taking a lot of strategy, change management, updating your disaster recovery programs with many things, not only the pandemic, but, the fires here in California. If we have people off site, we've had hurricanes and, the riots and the peaceful demonstrations, all of these things require almost a new hat. So I think the compliance, we had new leave laws, sick laws, and all of those things they had to contend with. But it's really, to me, what I'm seeing is the communications with employees and the sensitivity that it takes for understanding what employees are going through. We have many young mothers and fathers who have little ones under tow, and they're having to manage work along with many of them. HR professionals have to deal with that, and also the furloughs. We went from opening up in the same day to boarding up. And it's just been a lot for them to deal with. And I think that all that I talk to, it's buying the thermometers, the mask and everything, and getting everything done. But I'm amazed. I'm amazed at each company, each industry is so different, yet they're all obviously technology, and everybody's adjusting really well, considering for the HR teams. It's just a lot to handle.
Yeah, and a lot of it falls on, what's interesting is that a lot of the problems fall on CFOs and on the HR people. A lot of the problems from the pandemic and the shutdowns fall on those two areas. I mean, it falls on us all, of course, but I think those two areas have been particularly whacked. So same question. So if we're able to, if we can project ourselves, let's say a year from now, what kinds of changes would you expect to see for the HR profession? What will they do differently in the future because of the pandemic?
What I see is this next big challenge that companies are going through right now is getting their employees back to work. You know, employees are enjoying staying home, some of those that are working, others that are not in essential businesses, and those businesses that are not opening up, they're just trying desperately to open up. There's going to be, I'm afraid, a lot of legal issues because of the way this all happens so fast. So that's my concern, is the compliance areas is going to keep them really busy next year.
Okay, great. Chandra, let's get away from COVID for a few minutes. Let's talk about big trends. What kinds of trends have you seen in the CFO industry in recent years? In other words, what do companies and organizations want now from their financial people that maybe they didn't want in the past?
Great question. We have definitely seen some interesting trends in the role of CFO. I think it's been coming for quite some time. Those CFOs, many of them actually have remained doing the same work, but many CFOs have taken on responsibilities for activities that are not typical for a CFO, although it's becoming inherent as part of it. Today's CFO is responsible for much more than finance. In recent McKinsey survey, they found that more than half of CFOs say additional responsibilities include the company's enterprise risk management, regulatory compliance, M&A transaction execution, and IT. Some CFOs are also responsible for cybersecurity, investor relations, and several other functions. So it all depends on the type of firm that they're working with in terms of how large or small they are, and what kind of activities goes on within there, and who's taking responsibility. The issue that's come up is technological changes over the past decades have enabled people in finance to make greater use of data and analytics. A CFO is now expected, by the way, to glean insights from core strategic choices and understand what's going on in and outside the company to help the leadership make appropriate decisions. CFOs also have to be involved with decisions and technology more on the front end to ensure technology integrates with the systems they have in place already, rather than on the back end. Next, there's also been a shift towards enterprise risk management. It's no longer sufficient to think only about compliance or to internal policies, but CFOs to think about company risk as a whole, risk from both inside and outside the company. Regulatory changes, as you mentioned earlier, continue to take place at a fast pace and impact businesses. How the CFOs react to those external events and prepares for them has become critical. Finally, and actually more importantly, and this, Denon mentioned this a little bit, CFOs are also taking on more strategic decision-making roles. Companies value hard data and the empirical mindset that a finance chief brings to the strategic planning, especially around forecasting trends, building strategic capabilities, or regular relationships. In addition, a CFO can play a major role and provide a link between the company's strategic priorities and its capital allocation. In developing the priorities with the CEO, it allows the CFO to direct appropriate resources to those activities that have significant growth potential. They need to figure out the metrics that shed light on the performance and what actions will drive the performance improvement. CFO also needs to be a great communicator, another thing mentioned by Denon, especially in a world that's changing constantly. You have to get out and interact with internal and external constituents and partners so you can get a consensus on these priorities. So it can't be someone who's just an insider anymore. You have to be someone who's going to be understanding what's going on with the world outside of you as a
Right. And that's a great reminder of how complex the job has been getting even before we heard the word COVID. So that's me. You know, one more question for you, Chandra, and I've got to ask this. You're in education, of course. What's the most important thing a student can learn to prepare for a career in finance?
Thank you for that, by the way, because a lot here. Interestingly enough, more than 60% of CFOs actually have a degree in accounting. Others have typically a finance or economics majors, though we see a sprinkling of other majors. And in leadership, many individuals have an MBA. My view is beyond obtaining a technical skill, there's not just one most important thing a student needs to be successful. The work has become a lot more complicated. For a great career in finance, students not only need to know the major and in the appropriate discipline that they want to be in, but more importantly, to be ready to hit the marketplace, ready to help the company. What I mean by that is actually students need to prepare themselves to be strategic thinkers, to learn some of the new technologies that are being implemented in the companies, be a communicator with good written and oral skills. So here is what we are doing at the Nazarian College to satisfy those requirements before we get them out the door. We provide the students much of this through our co-curricular activities. In the classroom, we actually offer selected students a boot camp on advanced financial modeling taught by an investment banker. Students work on Bloomberg terminals and take the market concepts test to understand what the markets are doing, and to operate a $6 million student investment fund. And frequently, the students there perform better than our money managers that we have in-house.
That's
next, to understand some of the technologies large companies use, we have incorporated in classroom some applications of Salesforce in our information systems classes, SAP in our systems and operation management classes, and many students also take a course in blockchains and new technologies. That I'm totally excited about is we are working with a large public accounting firm as a way for our students to take some of the technology e-learning modules that they are now offering to their employees, something that our students can also use in order to develop their own what they call skills in that technology.
Okay, thank you. That's great. That's great. And Danan, how about you? What kinds of trends have you seen for HR people? What have companies needed from their HR professionals in the last few years that maybe they didn't need in the past? I'm sorry, Danan, you're muted.
There you go. Sorry about that.
There you go. We can hear you.
So I think Zappos and Google changed our world a lot. HR professionals have always had to deal with generations. There's just been a little bit, there's generations that are lasting longer in the workforce and younger ones coming up. And as Chandra mentioned, it's the communications and the technologies have been rapidly changing. So culture is really key. The way we communicate is different. The structure of a business, the expectations of the younger workforce and the expectations of the older workforce who are managers, managing, youngers, et cetera. I think that's been difficult. Compliance has just constantly been a huge impact for the last many years that I've been in this industry anyway, and been subject to these HR needs that they have. But the compliance just gets a bit tougher this year, with all the new laws. So I think a key word for an HR professional is to be, it's that flexibility that you have to have, that grace. Most HR professionals that I've met have a relator strength and also empathy and structure. Those are the things that are CFOs are looking for is, we've got jobs to do. We have work to be done, and HR people, the education, technology, communications, and compliance.
Again, a good reminder of how complex that job has become. That's a lot of qualities you need in one person, and it's pretty amazing. So, and I have to ask this question: you have an insurance company, of course, but
Yeah.
tell us about the interplay between a client's HR department and their insurance. So for example, might a client get a better rate on their insurance if they had, a really experienced top-notch HR department?
Absolutely. I always say that HR is the heartbeat of the company. And, I think HR professionals today know more about their employees and what their employees need. And they're able to transfer that knowledge to their insurance broker. And we as brokers, our job is not just consulting on plan designs and programs for workers' comp, property, casualty, but it's also in, educating. All the HR people that we work with, I teach them property and casualty and workers' comp. A lot of them work on claims, but they don't understand the whole marketing process. And I think, more and more HR professionals are on the corporate boards now, and the expectations are greater. And so I think that safety and wellness is absolutely key. We focus, and I started this company in 2006, because I really felt like the services weren't being done that needed to be done. HR professionals need a back office, and that's us. We help with wellness. We've just created a platform. We've invested $70,000 in it. It's a virtual platform for wellness and safety. We're super excited about it. It's very individualistic for our clients. It's very exciting. And I think those are the two key things for me is they've got to manage the wellness and the safety with their broker to make sure that their employees are safe and well so they can do a good job with presence.
Okay, great. Well, listen, thank you both for your insights and for sharing your knowledge. It really is insightful. So thank you for that. So with that, let's get on with our awards, shall we? So Danon, Chandra, and I will announce our 6 honorees. And if we call your name as an honoree, you are welcome to speak for a minute if you'd like. By the way, the winners will receive an award that looks kind of like this. It's a crystal, I forgot what it's called. It's a crystal keepsake. It's good to put on your bookcase or on your desk, something like that. It might be a couple of weeks before we can get that to you, but we will send them out to you. So let me take a minute and more formally introduce Danon, who will present our first 2 awards. So Danon Simpson is the founder and chief executive of Montage Insurance Solutions. It focuses on employee benefit and property and casualty programs for businesses and for nonprofits. Danon is quite involved in our local business community, I'm pleased to say, and she's a recognized leader. She's won so many awards that, it's really hard to name them all. But I would like to point out that the Business Journal 2 years ago named her the CEO of the Year. Well deserved. Danon, congratulations, and the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I really want you to know how much I value and appreciate you and the business journals. I think every company here in the Valley, we're a community and we really need each other. And these awards are very, very special. They're very special to me. And I really think that I know the San Fernando Business Journal has really helped my company grow. We've been recognized by many of CFOs and HR professionals because of the journal. And even if it's been just our giveaways, but Montage really, we handle the employee benefits, property casualty, and workers' comp with a completely unique mindset that I think is growing more and more today. But we're not the large broker house, the 1-800 number. We are hands-on and we're there at your beck and call. We're the wind beneath our HR person's wings. We like to roll out their programs and help them with their vision and their CFO's vision. Of course, CFOs, we just did a couple commercials and it's kind of funny. One CFO said, well, Danon, I told the board, we saved them money and I had worked hard to save them money. The next year, you save the money again, and he took the credit. And he goes, in the third year, I finally gave Danon credit. So it's really, a wonderful honor to work with our CFOs and HR professionals and Montages. We love what we do, and that's what it is. We're consultants for our clients. And so now it's all about you and not us. And I am so excited to get this started. So now on to our first award, and it is for the CFO among nonprofits. And the winner is, I have to beat my desk here, Lane Thresher, the first ever CFO for Prager University Foundation in Sherman Oaks. And Lane has overseen a 150% growth in fundraising in the 2 years that he's been there, while at the same time restructuring their team. And he scaled up the finance, audit, insurance, and treasury functions while serving on the executive team and contributing to the overall strategic planning for the company and the direction of the organization. What's more, on a personal level, he is involved in a variety of civic, church, and community causes. So congratulations to Lane Thresher. And Lane, would you like to say a few words?
Lane, are you there?
If you're with us, you might have to undo your mic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, well, let's go on, Danon.
Okay, fine. All right, Lane. So we'll keep up with you later.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we can hear from Lane later, maybe.
Okay, hopefully. On our second award, it is for the CFO of the Year in the large private company category. And the winner is Howard Kaminsky of Vallarta Supermarkets, which, oh my gosh, I love them, by the way. And they're headquartered in Sylmar. And there's some beautiful ones here in Woodland Hills. But Howard is a longtime CFO of Sport Chalet, growing it from 6 retail stores to 55. That's amazing. He went on to Vallarta Supermarkets 6 years ago and started helping that company to grow. When he joined the company, they had paper records back then, and then he quickly went on about transforming the accounting, IT, and human resource departments, investing in technology along the way. And this allowed Vallarta, I know I'm not saying it right, Vallarta, to cut costs as it streamlined services and better track their customers. Also, he has overseen the opening of 8 stores. And that's amazing too. And he began using the new market tax credits, which allows Vallarta to open in low-income food, desserts, and thereby helping their immigrants communities. As a matter of fact, I know they do a lot, and I love going to the stores and really getting that community feel from them. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate the CFO of a large private company, and it's Howard Kaminsky. Howard, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate the award, and it's Vallarta. You got to pronounce that.
Wells in there.
Yeah, I want to thank Dean Subramaniam for getting my name out there. I was kind of surprised, and Nicole in his office for reaching out to me. CSUN's a part of my foundation that's helped me get to where I am. And I want to also thank the Gonzalez family, the owners of Vallarta, Enrique, Alfredo, and Enrique Sr., and all my staff. They make my job easy. My controller, Geetha Ramadas, my VP of Continuous Improvement and CIO, Steve Netherton, and VP of Collections, Patricia Gonzalez. All of their teams really make my job easy. And most of all, my wife, who's put up with my hours for years and is still with me, and my sons and their families for their support. And most of all, the team members working in our stores and our customers. So thank you all.
Well, thank you, Howard. Appreciate it. And you're a smart man to thank the wife, because spouses also serve. That's for sure. And it's really great that you won the award. And congrats to Lane as well. And thank you, Danon, for presenting the awards. Once again, you are such an important person in our business community. And as you said, we're all in this together. We have to stick together. And it's always my pleasure it's really my pleasure and my honor to be able to share the stage with you, even though we're not on stage today, but you know what I mean. We're it's always a pleasure. Now I'd like to bring back Chandra. Chandra Subramaniam is the Dean of the David Nazarian College of Business and Economics at California State University, Northridge. He has an MBA and he earned his PhD in accounting from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. Chandra has taught at universities in Shanghai and Beijing, among other places. And he told me not long ago that the best part of his job is at commencement, when he gets to see the many happy faces of the new graduates as they prepare to enter the world of work armed with the tools they need. So Chandra will present our next two awards. Take it away, Chandra. Oh, you need
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, good.
So thank you. Before I announce the winners, I, on behalf of Nazarian College at CSUN, would like to congratulate every one of you in the audience. Work in the field of finance and human resources. These are difficult times and your dedication and resilience is remarkable. For those of you who are being honored here today, congratulations. We applaud your decision, your discipline, and your dedication to your profession. Before I start, let me say a few words about the Nazarian College as we strive to provide the highest quality education in LA. I wonder if many of you know that the business college is actually the 9th largest business college in the country with more than 7,000 students. So it's a big operation. While we are recognized for many things, let me touch on just a few that affect actually our community more than just who we are. Our volunteer income tax assistance program is ranked as the largest university-based program in the country for the 2nd year in a row. While COVID hit us in the middle of tax season, we continue to serve more than 5,400 low-income recipients in 2020 and more than 8,400 in 2019. And in 2020, the tax filing, and based on the tax filing, we brought back more than $10 million back to the local community in tax refunds and credits. And this case in San Fernando Valley. We did this by converting a face-to-face model to a virtual model in the middle of tax season, as many of you, as tax people will know, which is no easy task. Recently, by the way, Money Magazine ranked the Nazarian College as the number 31 school in the nation for educational quality and value. And we are proud to say that we played a major role in where CSUN was being ranked as number 6 as the most transformative university. While several of our programs are ranked by ranking agencies, what we are most proud of is our students and alumni. And especially, by the way, several of the people nominated for this award is actually CSUN alumni from the Nazarian College. CSUN has the 2nd most diverse student and faculty population in the nation, according to a recently released 2020 Wall Street Journal Times Higher Education ranking. In addition, more than 50% of our students are first-generation college students. More than 56% have received Pell Grants, which means they are poor. And more than 75% of them work more than 25 hours a week to support both their family and their education. As a consequence, CollegeNet recognizes CSUN as the 13th best program in the country in providing our students social mobility. We are definitely proud of that achievement. In that sense, our students are diverse, technically competent, hardworking, and a little sense of entitlement. They make great employees. For example, by the way, more than 20% of our managing partners, if you haven't counted yet, in the top 100 accounting firms in LA are CSUN alumni. Notwithstanding many of the CFOs here tonight who are CSUN alumni. So thank you again for allowing us to be here and supporting such incredible professionals. Again, I'll come back to all the honorees, but now back to our awards. I have the pleasure of announcing the CFO of the Year award in the category of emerging private companies. And the winner is, let's have a drum roll, Bill Lincoln, the CFO of ATK Audio Tech in Valencia. Bill has been with ATK since 2007, but before then he had extensive experience in the film and television production industry. He was CFO of the Fox Television Station Group and was an executive for the CBS-owned station in Chicago. But the biggest challenge in his career has come in the last few months. ATK's core business is live event production. including professional sports, concerts, festivals, and award shows, all of which have been laid low by the pandemic. His nominator said that Bill's entire job right now is keep the company going. Remember the cash I talked about? He has been working on reducing costs, capitalizing on revenue streams, and innovating new solutions. Bill, many of us can relate, and we are rooting for you. Congratulations on your award. Unfortunately, I think Bill is not here today. And so we'll continue with that, but we want to make sure that he gets his award. Our next award is CFO of the Year award in the large public company category. And the winner is, drumroll, Stephen Binder of Mankind. Stephen became CFO of Mankind 3 years ago when the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. The company faced a $200 million in debt that was due in the following 24 to 36 months. Stephen set to work to recapitalize the company and restructure the debt. The CEO of the company said, and I quote, "Today, we are now a thriving company with a market cap of almost 400 million, revenue growing at 50% a year, and we are in our best cash position in the last 4 years. He has done a remarkable job," end quote. Stephen, who has won this honor before, but in a different category, is also significantly involved in the community. Congratulations, Stephen. Unfortunately, I understand Stephen is also unable to make it today, but he will be sent his award. With that, back to you, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Chandra. It's, it's impressive what you said about CSUN. It was a good reminder of the stature and the importance that CSUN and the business school has in our community. And I want to point out that it's also impressive how important you've become to our community just in a relatively short time. You've been there about what, a little over 2 years, as I recall.
A little over 2 years.
So, yeah, so it's amazing how important a stature you've assumed in that time. That's a tribute to, is a testament to you personally.
Thank you.
So now it's my pleasure to name the last 2 awardees. And first up is Human Resources, and it's in the Emerging Private Company category. And the winner is Janelle Strohmeyer of Montage Insurance. Now, Janelle has 25 years of experience in human resources, has 2 MBA degrees, and her expertise involves helping clients build out their HR infrastructure with people, with compliance, and technology. For one transportation company with 700 employees, she progressively decreased turnover by 14% over an 18-month span, spearheaded a confidential investigation system that decreased litigation by 40% and achieved an 80% improvement in satisfaction levels. Her nominator wrote, and I quote, "She combines high energy and a strong sense of urgency with excellent interpersonal and team building skills. Driving success is a constant focus with a high priority on customer service, internally and externally." Congratulations, Janelle Strohmeyer. Would you like to say a few words?
Wow, thank you. I'm a little in shock, to be honest. I just want to thank Danon and Montage for a platform that allows all of us to be successful. Certainly, Danon and herself and her example of leadership puts forth something to strive after every single day. And I am most pleased to be part of the Montage team. Thank you.
Thank you, and congrats again, Janelle. And so finally, we come to our last award, and that's the Rising Star category. And this award is given to a person who has maybe not been in the industry for long, but has shown great promise, a rising star, in other words. And this year, our Rising Star Award goes to Eric Chen, the CFO of Meisner Filtration Products in Camarillo. Now, Eric transitioned from being a banker to a CFO only recently, but he's already managing the implementation of a new ERP system. He's managing the company's internal expansion and creating a better banking structure, as you might imagine, all in the environment of a fast-growing company. His nominator wrote, and I quote, "He works tirelessly through weekends and has a commitment to making the company a more efficient and a stronger entity." And on a personal note about Eric, he teaches Kung Fu and he is a black belt martial artist. So anyway, congratulations, Eric, on your many accomplishments. And would you like to say a few words?
Sure, Charlie. Thank you very much. Completely unexpected, but I'd like to thank the sponsors as well, the Dean, Chandra, and Danone. Uh, I This is a very prestigious award, and I know that the role of the CFO has certainly been expanding and reaching broader scopes over time. I'd like to take a moment to thank those who've been instrumental in making this moment a reality. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the San Fernando Valley Business Journal for the great work and contributions that you do for the business community and always keeping local businesses well informed and connected. To Jasleen Patel and Albert Yu from City National Bank, not only for their nomination, but their tremendous partnership in helping us navigate through very tumultuous times. To the two most important women in my life, my mother and my wife, Sharon, who's also an HR professional, for always providing their love and support throughout my career. And lastly, to the founders of Meisner Filtration Products, Chris and Laura Meisner, thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of a world-class organization. And I'm just really proud to be part of the exceptional team and culture that they've built over the years. If I may, for those who are unfamiliar with Meisner Filtration Products, if you think about life-threatening illnesses and diseases like Ebola, cancer, Alzheimer's, and more recently, COVID-19, these are just a handful of the life-threatening illnesses where Meisner has been at the forefront of saving human lives. We are a critical supplier to the biopharmaceutical industry, and we do provide more than just what our name implies, which is filters. In fact, our products support the entire life cycle of drug and vaccine development, from R&D all the way to full-scale commercial manufacturing. And we're also very proud of the fact to share that a lot of the companies in phase 3 clinicals for the COVID vaccine are in some way working with Meisner to accelerate that process. So again, I'm honored to be a part of this, and to my peers, I'd love to acknowledge the rest of you who are leading this change in what a CFO is supposed to do day in and day out. And again, it's an honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, and congratulations again. They're really, really great words. You know what? I don't know if we can hear and can hear each other, but let's do this. Let's go ahead and give one big round of applause for all of our nominees as well as for our winners. Congratulations to each and every one of you. You know, we need you now more than ever. So thank you for all of your great work. And thank you again to our sponsors, the David Nazarian School at CSUN and Montage Insurance. By the way, it just occurred to me, right here, I'm at my desk, and right here on my desk I have, I don't know if you can see that, that's CSUN's booklet of sticky notes, always right here at my desk. And right next to it is the Montage stress ball, you know, you squeeze for stress. And I think Danon gave this to me like maybe a couple of years ago, and I've barely used it because I have no stress. But anyway, it's always here just in case. So you guys are always close to me no matter what. Don't forget, you'll be able to read all about the winners and see the finalists in the upcoming October 26th issue of the San Fernando Valley Business Journal. Please be sure to pick up that issue. By the way, I would like to say that the Business Journal was named the best business journal of our size in the country last June. It's the third time in the last 4 years we've won that honor. So you could support us by subscribing. It really doesn't cost much. And you can also sign up